VGC players are sometimes asked whether we have a Pokemon that we didn't especially like or think all that much of before we used it in VGC that because of VGC has become a Pokemon that we especially like. One of our favorites or something along those lines. And I used to be not at all sure that I had an answer to that, but at this point, when I think about that question, one of the very first Pokemon that comes to mind for me is Annihilate. And the reason for that goes back to Scarlet and Violet Regulation H, which I realize is kind of late, actually. Some people loved Annihilate in earlier formats, and were getting a lot of use out of it, especially with Mousehold, but also with the Choice Scarf set and other things like that. But for me, it goes back a little ways into this channel's history. A couple of years back, I decided in October, just for the fun of it, to do something I called Ghost Month. I did it last year as well. I expect I'll do it this year, where because Ghost is my favorite Pokemon type, and because October is a month closely associated with ghosts, I built a team around a Ghost-type Pokemon every week of that month, and featured it in a video. And at the end of the month, close to Halloween, I wanted to go big, so I made a mono Ghost team in Regulation H, centered on Annihilate. I had pretty low expectations for that team. I didn't put a massive amount of work into building it, and Monotype is a difficult kind of team to pull off, but fortunately my favorite type is just broken as heck, and the team actually looked really, really good on the Regulation H ladder, centered on Annihilate, as I said, with the rest of the core being Sinistcha, Sableye, Male Basculegion, those four Pokemon coming to most of the games, and then the last two spots filled by Hisuian Zoroark and Hisuian Typhlosion. I have a lot of content on this team. I've used it in multiple grand challenges or global challenges. I don't know, multiple GCs. The very first one was right then after I made that Halloween video. It might have been October 2024. And I got top 256 with a Monotype team, which was better than I'd ever done before. I'm not sure I've done that well since. And then I also took the team to an in-person side tournament at the Toronto Regionals later that year. I entered the Cup on the Sunday, so local level tournament, but with players who were not playing Day 2 in Toronto, and I managed to get top 4 with the same team, even though I had never played Open Team Sheet with it before, and Top Cut even was best of 3, and I'd only played best of 1 closed team sheet. My point is, that team somehow consistently exceeded my expectations time after time, centered on Annihilate, but with other powerful Pokemon around it. And it's become one of my favorite teams that I've ever built, if not number one. And when Pokemon Champions released with Regulation MA, Annihilate was missing, but a lot of its teammates were right there playing similar roles. I mean, if you remember the Cybertron MA team with Archaludon supported by Sableye and Sinistcha, let's just say that concept looked very, very familiar to me because it was the same kind of thing that I was doing in Regulation H, except it wasn't Monotype. And so I had this team in mind when Regulation MB started and Annihilate returned, and I knew that I wanted to put the ghosts back together with some updates because not everything about the original concept works in this new format, but I wanted to see what they could do together. So here's what I came up with. The core of the team is pretty much exactly unchanged from Scarlet and Violet, so you can look back to multiple videos to see how it works. Except, of course, these Pokemon can't Terrastallize, which makes a real difference. And I changed one move. Sinistcha now has Trick Room instead of Strength Sap, but that's the only change on any of these sets, other than the Terra types being gone. It is still a fully specially bulky Annihilate. Sometimes that bulk catches people off guard, which is surprising to me because full special bulk feels to me like the most obvious intuitive way to use bulk up Annihilate, but it's not what a lot of opponents are expecting. And of course that is with the leftovers to give it some passive recovery. Drain Punch can also give it some other recovery. You have Defiant so that Annihilate can't be safely intimidated or parting shotted by opponents. Because it gets a power boost, and that power boost can be useful because this team kind of counts on Annihilate being hard for opponents to remove, while any damage that they do to it goes toward the Rage Fist stacks. I've really liked Rage Fist's animation in Champions, by the way, so it's been extra fun to watch Annihilate unleash its rage on opponents, but one weakness that this Annihilate has is that there's nothing on the team to boost its own Rage Fist. At least there's nothing dedicated to that goal. There's not like a side beat up or Icicle Spear anywhere. So Where Annihilate can sometimes lack a little bit in power, things like Defiant boosts and getting a lot of opportunities for a bulk up with some recovery options to keep Annihilate on the field come in handy quite a bit there. The other three probably need no introduction if you've watched past videos, but really quickly, Screens Sableye helps Annihilate to stick around longer, with Light Clay also returning to the game in Regulation MB. Thunderwave is a good cheese move. This team doesn't have a lot of speed control, so clicking Thunderwave into fast attackers can sometimes be pretty valuable to minimize the number of hits that my Pokemon have to take before they dish out hits back. In fact, I've found in Champions I've been clicking Thunderwave more often than I ever was in Scarlet and Violet. In Scarlet and Violet, I really didn't click it very often. In Champions, I get both screens, or sometimes only one screen, and then it's kind of a Thunderwave spamming bot in that Sableye slot after that. And Foul Play gives Sableye a way to do damage. I don't like to run Pokemon with no attacking moves at all. It's not unheard of that I do, but it's not a comfy thing for me. There's a real chance that Sableye could end up being the last Pokemon in some situations with this game, so being able to do something with it is helpful, and Foul Play is good into all the strong physical attackers in this format. A lot of this team, a lot of how it plays is about the timing of getting the screens up quickly and then when to switch Sinistcha in. Sinistcha has a couple of ways to heal Annihilate with Hospitality and Life Dew. It has Rage Powder to redirect hits away from Annihilate, which buys time for a Bulk Up or a Drain Punch. With the Citrus Berry and a bunch of defensive EVs, Sinistcha takes hits pretty well in its own right. I don't really feel much need to run any kind of Type Resist Berry on it. And then Matcha Gotcha gives it an attack with a little bit more recovery. In Scarlet and Violet, this is the one move that's different in the core. I ran Strength Sap. Strength Sap was useful into things like Dragonite. It still is useful into Dragonite if you see a non-Mega one, but it also was kind of essential to the team's Dondozo game plan. Basically, the way I beat Dondozo in a late game in Scarlet and Violet was Terrastallize Sinistcha to Fairy and then spam Strength Sap, while Dondozo can't use Order Up into Sinistcha to get its attack boost back. That's obviously not relevant in Pokemon Champions so far. I'm sure Dondozo is returning at some point, but it's not here right now. And I figured where speed control is very valuable in this format, and Strength Sap seemed a little bit less useful. It's not like Annihilate is afraid of Sneasler. Annihilate is not really afraid of Kingambit either. You'd think Kingambit could be a nightmare for an all-Ghost type team, but actually Annihilate matches up very favorably into it, which is part of why this team works as well as it does. I didn't really think Strength Sap was necessary, and you can't safely Strength Sap Kingambit anyway. And having that bit more speed control, being able to turn off opponents' Trick Room modes and whatnot felt valuable. Basculegion is the other absolutely essential core member of the team. Choice Scarf, Adaptability Basculegion is largely an emergency button if the Annihilate game plan has gone wrong. Basculegion in the late game can sometimes win a difficult position by itself, even if I've fallen behind like 2 or 3 Pokemon to 1. But also Basculegion can be an offensive lead when this team needs one, threatening a lot of burst damage immediately. Not so much with Last Respects, of course, but certainly with Wave Crash. And with Flip Turn, it can pivot off of the field so that I can lead Basculegion Annihilate if I want, pressure out a threat right away, and then pivot Basculegion off the field so I can start clicking my screens or my Rage Powder. That's the core of the team. They're featured heavily in a lot of videos. In the Scarlet and Violet version of this team, I almost always brought those 4 Pokemon to every single game. In the order Annihilate, Sableye, Sinistcha, Basculegion, although Basculegion can lead over Sableye sometimes. I have found in Champions, though, that I've been using the other members more often than I used to, and as you can see if you're familiar with the old version of the team, the other members are somewhat revamped here. So what might be a little bit surprising looking at this team right here is that the 5th slot actually originally was Aegislash in the Champions version of this team. And what I probably should do is talk about what roles I was trying to fill first. So when you look at the Hisuian Zoroark and Hisuian Typhlosion that used to be on this team, Zoroark did 2 main things. The most sort of concrete one that I understand best was that it was a Dondozo matchup piece, although it never really worked the way that I intended. Zoroark had Will-O-Wisp. Actually, it did 3 things. It had Will-O-Wisp, so I wanted to burn Dondozo with that. I don't think a single opponent ever let me burn their Dondozo, but it was still useful into other physical threats sometimes. And physical damage reduction can be useful because Annihilate has very few defense EVs. It's mostly focused on special defense that can help me buy room for a bulk up. Zoroark also gave me a special attacker. Zoroark and Typhlosion both did that, which I didn't have otherwise. This did make Zoroark useful in Dondozo matchups because when I was first developing this team, Dondozo was mainly used with Glamora having the goal of poisoning opponents before Dondozo tried to close the game out. And my Sinistcha Annihilate endgame into Dondozo where I'd prevent it from boosting with Order Up and slowly weaken it and try to break through with Annihilate, relied on those two Pokemon not being poisoned. So leading Zoroark, usually disguised as Annihilate, would give me a special attacker that I could use to knock out Glamora without setting up its Toxic Debris so that I could get the end game I wanted. That was a very valuable role. It is not at all relevant in this format, so immediately a huge part of what Zoroark was doing is off the table. The other thing that Zoroark did for this team, I think, is it just got in opponents' heads at Team Preview. Like, opponents having to cover for some kind of shenanigans for Zoroark meant that they couldn't as straightforwardly deal with the Annihilate as they could do if they didn't see a Zoroark at Preview. And it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of, there's something kind of perfect about it that I find very satisfying, that I almost never brought Zoroark to a game. I think Typhlosion was the Pokemon I brought least, but Zoroark came to very few games as well. But just the threat of it forced opponents to adjust in ways that sometimes created openings for Annihilate. It's kind of fun to have that illusion user and not actually use it very much and have that pay off, I think. Although I can't really quantify how it paid off. I don't really know. I had one opponent at that cup in Toronto tell me that he'd had trouble dealing with my Annihilate because he'd been covering for Zoroark. But most of the time, if I'm playing on ladder or something, I don't know what the opponent's thinking. I just thought Zoroark probably messed with their heads, but I didn't really have a way to figure out exactly what that did, or what effect that had. So when we look at Zoroark's role in the team, special attacker, there are other things that can be. Dondozo answer, matchup, that's too strong. Matchup piece into Dondozo, not relevant in champions. Mess with their heads with the threat of illusion trickery at Team Preview. That's still probably valuable, but I don't really have a way to estimate its value. Hisuian Typhlosion was the least used member of the Scarlet and Violet version of the team, but I had it, again, for a reason that was kind of particular to those games. Apart from giving me another special attacker, and notably a stronger one, although I didn't have room to run the Focus Sash on it because Zoroark had that, or the Choice Scarf because Basculegion had that, so that limited what Typhlosion could do. But mainly it matched up well into certain kinds of Sunroom teams that could make it uncomfortable for Annihilate to try to set up. So this was very common in Regulation H. There would be teams built around Torkoal with things like Farigiraf helping it set up the Sun, Pokemon like Charizard being Sun-based attackers. That still exists in Champions, but I don't think it has quite the same place in the meta that it did in Regulation H, and I didn't feel like I needed to cover for it in the same way. So Typhlosion just didn't seem that useful, and then it's just not that... It's strong, but it's just not that fast without a Choice Scarf or without speed control for it on the team, so I didn't really feel like it had a place here. When I thought about what I did want, having some kind of special offense still seemed pretty valuable, but the number one thing that I didn't have to cover before, but felt like I had to now, was Fairy types, because this is not Scarlet and Violet anymore. I'm not able to turn my Annihilate into a Fire type. Annihilate ran Terra Fire on the Scarlet and Violet version of this team, and again, much like I had to time my Sinistcha switches carefully, a lot of what went into game planning in Scarlet and Violet was when to Terrastallize Annihilate. And what threats I was trying to cover for by either doing that or not doing that at a given moment. Annihilate is massively important to this team because it's the reason I don't lose to King Gambit, but it does have its own weaknesses and I can't get rid of them anymore, so I felt like I needed answers to Fairy types, and that was why I looked first to Aegislash. Aegislash is a very strong Pokemon. It's a Pokemon that I've never understood super well, but the ways that people were using it in early Regulation MB felt pretty straightforward. This team, as I keep saying, doesn't have a lot of speed control, so Aegislash giving me a powerful Shadow Sneak was also something that I found very appealing. And it had Iron Head to cover fairies, or it could just hit them hard with Poltergeist. Actually, one thing I had trouble with Aegislash was figuring out exactly what moves to use, because I wanted all 5 of Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, Iron Head, Sacred Sword, and King's Shield. And I figured either Iron Head or Sacred Sword had to go, but I kind of went back and forth on which one. But that was what I filled in the 5th slot at first. And then I didn't have a Mega yet. And I didn't think it was necessary to have a Mega. There's no obligation to run one. But they're so powerful that I figured that was the next place I should look for my next Pokemon. And it was interesting, actually. There are not a lot of Ghost-type Megas, but there were quite a few that felt like they could have some kind of place on this team. It was not a... I know I used Gengar a lot in MA, but it was not a foregone conclusion that I'd be using Gengar again here. The first one I thought about was actually Mega Bayonet. Bayonet has a very high attack stat when it's Mega Evolved, and it is Prankster. So I felt like I could kind of double down on some things that were already good for this team and maybe make it even harder for opponents to deal with by doubling down. So another powerful Shadow Sneak and some more Prankster support, since Sableye can only run so many moves. That was the first option I thought about. I thought about Chandelure for something like the Typhlosion role, but bulkier. I thought about Frostlass for being able to give me some amount of weather control, while also being a fast special attacker. I think a Frostlass version of this team might have been worth testing, but I never did. I think even in the tournament run that you're going to see, I talk about maybe Frostlass could have been helpful. The reason I landed on Gengar is it kind of perfectly covers the things that were in my mind at the time. Again, fast special attacker. Gengar gives me a turbo offensive lead of option with Basculegion like nothing else on this team ever really did, because Typhlosion's just not as fast and Zoroark's just not as strong. So I have an offensive lead that I didn't really ever have before, which was kind of fun to play with. Gengar, Basculegion. And Gengar also gives me another very, very powerful answer to Fairy types, being able, notably, to trap them on the field and hit them hard with Sludge Bomb. So Pokemon like Floette and Sylveon, one hopes, can't get comfortable against this team. And originally I had Disable in Gengar's third move slot. I thought that maybe disabling a threatening move could help Annihilate to set up, but in reality I don't think I ever clicked Disable. So I played around on the ladder a fair bit with that version of the team, and by the way, I never lost a ladder game with the Aegislash version of the team. It might have been perfectly good, but the reason that I was not sure about it after a while, even though the laddering was going very well, and at that point I had never lost a game, was, funnily enough, this thought did not age well, but Mega Pyroar was kind of having a moment at that point early in the format. I think Wolf Glick had released a Mega Pyroar team. Other people were trying Mega Pyroar out. Pyroar was looking like it was going to be very strong potentially. And looking over my team here, I didn't know what my Pyroar answer was. I mean, I can outspeed it with Basculegion and hit it with Wave Crash, but it's not really that simple, especially in Sun. Annihilate is extremely specially bulky, but Mega Pyroar just hits so hard that I wasn't sure how much I trusted that. I mean, maybe I could have like Thunder Waved, set Light Screen, Thunder Wave to Pyroar. I'm sure there were ways to play around it. And it didn't help that I wasn't running into any Pyroar on the ladder, so I didn't get to test my matchup. I was just catastrophizing about it in my head. But I felt like I might need something more to cover for that. And that was how I got to Flashfire Ceruledge. And I realized that Ceruledge could do a lot of the same things that I wanted Aegislash to do, while also improving my matchup into Pyroar. And I guess also Mega Charizard Y, which did remain a very relevant threat. But Ceruledge is still a Fairy Resist. It still can be very specially bulky. Well, fairly specially bulky. It still has a strong Shadow Sneak. So it kind of ticks the main boxes for Aegislash, while also having that fire immunity and normal immunity if I'm afraid of Pyroar. I think that a bulk up Ceruledge, like a very standard bulk up Ceruledge, might have worked perfectly well here. The reason I didn't do that was partly just that I already had bulk up Annihilate and was putting a lot of resources into that, and I felt like I should do something different and not the same thing again. Just like a worse version of the same thing where I can't run the leftovers on Ceruledge. I went with Swords Dance instead because I can click that button once and then Ceruledge is very powerful. I do think bulk up might have been better in the end, because Ceruledge can boost its physical bulk to help with that special bulk, and the team obviously has a lot of supports for setup already, with Sableye giving screens and speed control, Sinistcha redirection and healing, Basculegion offensive pressure to get the opponent off the setup attacker's back. So double bulk up might have worked perfectly well, but I decided to give Swords Dance a try. And that was pretty much the team. The last change that I made was I changed Gengar's third move to Taunt, because again, a little bit afraid of opposing speed control. Taunt gave me one more way to stop an opponent from clicking Trick Room or something like that, and Pokemon like, some of this team doesn't really mind playing in Trick Room, and I can reverse it in this version with Sinistcha, but a hard Trick Room team could be very threatening into Annihilate. Certainly Basculegion doesn't like to deal with that, and there are other status moves that can also mess with the team, things like Sleep Powder and Encore from Whimsicott, Sleep Powder from somebody else like Vivillon that can be hard to deal with, so I felt like Taunt made it a little bit easier to stop opponents from disrupting my setup. And so this was the version of the team that I'd come up with. It was still a lot of fun on the ladder, and I didn't really have the idea in my head yet to enter it into a tournament. I mean, by the time I got to that final version, I did. But the Grand Champions Festival Encore was coming up. If you remember, the Grand Champions Festival was a massive tournament celebrating the release of champions, hosted by Scraw, who has covered it extensively on his own channel. 10,000 signups, about 6,000 people actually showing up to play. I was one of the 6,000. I have a video about it. My run didn't go the way I hoped. And with another Grand Champions Festival coming up, even if it wouldn't be as massive as this first one, it was still a very big tournament, and I wanted another crack at it. But I had a problem, which was that I didn't really have a team, and I wasn't really motivated to find a team. I've been feeling pretty checked out of Regulation MB so far. It kind of feels like a filler off-season format for me with, you know, nothing in terms of official tournaments to try to go to or anything like that. So I've been kind of disengaged from this format, not really learning properly how to build in it. I was kind of interested in like a setup-focused team, but you know, maybe something like the Blastoise Delphox stuff that was taking off around that time, but I didn't have in my head what that team could look like. I was kind of interested in bringing back my Mega Floette that had kind of a disappointing run in the first Grand Champions Festival and going for revenge in the Encore, but I didn't really have a Mega Floette team in mind. And the team that I did have was this, and this team is built for best of one closed team sheet, but this team also had always exceeded my expectations before. And part of me thought that it would be useful to play something very familiar in a format that I wasn't very used to so far and was kind of checked out from. Part of me felt like it would be a good look at just what this team's limits are. And part of me felt like it would be fun content to use Monotype in one of the biggest online tournaments going on around now. And like I said, every time I doubted this team, it rose to the occasion before, and that's partly because my favorite type is massively broken with crazy moves like Rage Fist and Last Respects used by powerful Pokemon all around. And so I decided I was not shying away from the challenge, and even if it went badly, it was going to be fun. But with this team, I had some real trust, built up over time, all the way back to Scarlet and Violet Regulation H, that things would probably not go too badly. So, with all that said, here is my Grand Champions Festival Encore run with a Monotype team of my favorite type. Music for this team, sometimes I just do Jacynth. But I think I like, at least for now, for a little bit of variety today, random Legend ZA. Your opponent checked in and also hasn't entered the room yet. Alright, well. Oh, they said I'm in. I'll send them a good luck, have fun. And then it's time. Yeah, so how do I beat Rain? When I don't know what to do with... Going all the way back to Scarlet and Violet, when I don't know what to do with this stuff, I just force the Annihilate idea. So that's fine for game one, I think. Also, like, Ceruledge and Gengar are just bad into Mega Swampert. So I think for game one, at least, I do just play this team as straightforwardly as possible. And this is what that looks like. I just noticed that all my Pokemon have Ghost as their second type, except Gengar. There's no intentional pattern to that. I guess Gengar could be good, actually, to beat like a late game Archaludon or something. Maybe I should think about that after game one. But I think just the if I'm falling back on familiarity here, I think the main mode that I've been spamming since Scarlet and Violet is the answer. What's this, Canary music? I think so. Pelipper Archaludon, okay. A little bit awkward because of how they can set up. What are the items on these things? Damp Rock, Pelipper, Leftovers, or Archaludon. Yeah, a little tricky. They get a lot of rain turns, obviously. I'll just Light Screen and Bulk Up turn one. And it is Stamina or Archaludon. It usually is, but it's good to be sure. Raymer King, I've forgotten what you said no correlation to. Okay, they Electroshoot the Sableye for a lot of damage. Hurricane Annihilate. All Ghost. Oh, I see, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Pelipper is kind of a problem, actually, because of that super effective Hurricane. It is definitely a mon that I have some trouble with here. Drain Punch the Arch. I know I'm stamina boosting it, but I think it's worth. I could think about a switch to Sinistra here. I really don't hate that. I could do switch to Sinistra and still Drain Punch. Or I could Thunder Wave something. I'll switch to Sinistcha. Thunder Waving Pelipper might have been nice, though. I think a Sinistcha switch is a little early. That did so much. It is leftovers Stamina or Chaldon, though. But yeah, I don't want to let it snowball too much. They didn't lead Swampert or Basculegion, so my Gengar would have been pretty well positioned here, but I didn't know. Okay, that's not in range of a Hurricane. The Tailwind, okay. Do they have Protect on our Chaldon? They do. What are their other Pokemon? They have so many offensive threats. I'm not going to read a Protect on our Chaldon right now. I was thinking about reading that and Rage Fisting Pelipper. I'm not going to do it this turn. I will Rage Powder so they can't Hurricane me. No, they just attack again. It's going to be +3 into Sinistcha. It is resisted. That did not do very much at all. And then Hurricane also into Sinistcha. That's going to do more. Doesn't KO. Alright. Get rid of our Chaldon. Annihilate has taken 2 attacks, I think, so yeah, 2 stack on Rage Fist. And it's not Sash Pelipper. So that's something to be thinking about, but let's see what they bring in. Another thing to be thinking about is that I haven't set Reflect. And Staraptor can never close combat this team, but I can Brave Bird. Okay, Basculegion. What is this thing set? Mystic Water. Swift Swim, of course. That's a giant threat. I think I sacked Sinistcha to just Rage Fist that. Otherwise, I need to... okay, now they Protect. Yeah, that's very smart of them. I think what I need to do in that case is bring in Sableye after they knock out my Sinistcha here and Thunder Wave the Basculegion. Or I could have set Trick Room with Sinistcha. No, I never really had a good window to do that, because I would have had to let Annihilate take 1,000,000 damage if I didn't Rage Powder last turn. Okay, Trick Room was never the play, I don't think. But it is a little awkward right now. As long as they have their Rain and their Tailwind. Oh, they have Tailwind up still. My Basculegion outspeeds theirs if Rain and Tailwind go away, but that takes a while. Going for the Thunder Wave. I land it. But they have Swift Swim active and they have Tailwind, so they're still going to be faster, I think. Last Respect into Annihilate. Okay, good. Hurricane into Annihilate. Okay, good. But now we have a problem. Well, okay, but it's only Annihilate's almost at full. Oh, and their Tailwind ended here. And I can Reflect here, and it's only 1 stack, Last Respects. I also think there's a good chance they paralyze the Basculegion here and try to get their Tailwind back, which is why I'm going to Rage Fist Pelipper and hope that doesn't throw the whole game. I think Reflect... I could also Foul Play Basculegion, but I'm not sure I'll get the chance to actually do that, so I think Reflect is better here. Last Respect into Annihilate. Yeah. It's only 1 stack into +1 defense and a Reflect. I actually outspeed Pelipper and knock that out. That's good to know. Oh, the stream is choppy. I'll try to fix that between games or something. And Swampert is their last Pokemon. How many turns of Rain are left? 2. Okay. I'm down to Protect Annihilate this turn, and I'll click Foul Play into their Basculegion. Maybe I get away with it. I think probably not, but we'll see. I can't Thunder Wave the Swampert, so what else is there to do? There's their Mega. Leg isn't too bad. Good. Are they just doubling Annihilate? They Wave Crash it? They doubled Annihilate. Okay, I get the Foul Play. And that just KOs. Good thing Basculegion is so strong, but it kind of backfired on them there. And somehow, that should do it, because there's only 1 turn of Rain left. And even if they, like, crit my Annihilate or something, I have my Basculegion in the back. Okay, they're gonna Wave Crash Annihilate. That did a lot. That Swampert is a threat, but it looks like the Rage Fist will take it out now. I like Rage Fist's animation in this game. It looks like a move that means business. Okay, so that's game 1. But like I said, this team is built for best of 1. I don't... My opponent might find some adjustments. I still don't really see much room to bring Ceruledge or Gengar to this. Gengar could have been good there if I'd known the specific lead they would use, or if the rain had ever ended. But with that damp rock, it was actually raining for the entire battle. So for game 2, I think there's a good chance my opponent finds an answer, but I am just going to bring the same 4. That's not the right order. There we go. But again, their Basculegion is faster than mine in Rain. Or it should be. So that's a real issue when they have that damp rock. Whimsicott Staraptor. Okay. What do they have on the whims? Moonblast, Encore, Taunt, and Charm. Okay. So Annihilate probably has to just click Rage Fist. Always. And one weakness of this team is that I don't have a way to stack my own Rage Fist. But it is what it is. I can't get... They could Taunt Annihilate, or they could Encore it. So I can't be messing with setup. Ah, I guessed wrong. I thought they might just go for a Brave Bird, so I reflected first. But now Whimsicott's probably going to Moonblast when I don't have my light screen yet. And I could Moonblast Sableye, which is, you know, a way to potentially... Let's see how I take this hit. I might take it. Okay, so I should get the light screen as well. But yeah, that's the downside of not having like a side beat up anywhere on this team. The nice thing is, as soon as they attack Annihilate, they boost that damage. Okay, it's Mega Staraptor. So it's not Mega Swampert this game, so again, Gengar might have been good, but I didn't have much reason to expect that it would be. I like that cry. Side Charm. Oh, yeah, they can just get me with this and outpace my damage. Okay. Brave Bird. How much is it going to do? Probably a lot. It just KOs. Okay. Well, either Basculegion sweep or I lose. A lot of damage back. The nice thing is... With Staraptor Mega Evolved, I don't think they have any Last Respects resist or immunity. That is correct. I'll Thunder Wave it. I don't think they have Tailwind. Moonblast, Encore, Taunt, Charm. They don't have Tailwind on Whimsicott, so yeah, this Thunder Wave maybe is unnecessary even when I have Scarf Basculegion already. Faint, your goat. That must be a comment on your match because we haven't seen it in mine. Okay, so I stopped the Staraptor, but they got rid of my ape first. So we'll see what happens. Pelipper. It could be their Basculegion in the back. Oh, and they can charm me with the Whimsicott. They can lower my attack. That's really awkward. Well, let's just do what I can here. Which means spam Thunder Wave with Sableye. They probably have Basculegion in the back. So I'm not sure I can beat that. It might actually be for the best that I didn't get a KO this turn. Okay. If they have Basculegion in the back, do I have to try to win with Sinistra? If I can even do that? Or maybe I get another chance to foul play it, but they can pretty much knock out Sableye anytime they want right now. I didn't figure out the right moves for this turn. They're just focusing on the charm, okay. Real charm offensive from them. Get some chip into Pelipper, but it's not much. And Pelipper goes for Weather Ball and takes out Sableye. Now I can never switch Basculegion out. And I can't click Trick Room because they still have the Whimsicott. I need to take out the Whimsicott there. Nope, that doesn't work regardless. Okay, I think what I have to do this turn is hope this KOs Whimsicott and I get my Trick Room up immediately. Otherwise, they can Encore Sinistra into Trick Room. They don't fall for it. They taunt Sinistra right away. Okay. I mean, that's the right play for them, yeah. But if I'd taken out Whimsicott last turn, I'm not sure I'm really much better off. And that just one-shots Sinistra this time. Okay, it crits. Well, I think this was probably lost anyway. Yeah, I mean, Sinistra wasn't doing anything that turn because it got taunted when I clicked Trick Room. So now I just lose to their Basculegion, and I try to figure out what I'm doing in Game 3. I can see them leading the Staraptor again. Really scare off my ape. You got a 2-0 win, Raymer. Congrats. I could lead Gengar in Game 3. Of course, they can always switch turn 1. But yeah, I don't hate that. But then what do I have in the back? Maybe something like this? It means no Sinistra. Maybe I don't have room for my Basculegion. My Basculegion is kind of bad because it's outsped by their Basculegion as long as they have Rain Up, and they can have Rain Up whenever they want. Also, the Charm spam last game was a problem. But if they do a similar game plan this time, hopefully I can take out the Whimsicott more quickly. I'm going to try this. I don't know how it's going to go. I guess another option was lead Gengar Annihilate, and then Gengar can scare out the Staraptor or threaten it if they lead with that again, which they do. Okay. Last game, I'm just going to attack the Whimsicott aggressively. Last game we saw Whimsicott Moonblast, not one-shot Sableye. So I'm inclined to Reflect first again, just to cover for any kind of Staraptor shenanigans. They just protect the Staraptor again, okay. They stay in, though. That's super interesting. They taunt Gengar, but what do they think? I'm taunting back? No, not right now. I thought there was a good chance they'd switch Staraptor out there. Okay, do I get the poison on Whimsicott, or is it going to survive the turn? Survives the turn. Alright. Let's attack the Raptor this time. And I'll just go for the KO on Whimsicott. I don't want to have to deal with this later in the game. Side Charm. Big Sludge Bomb. Get the poison on Raptor. It's already almost gone. If it's Brave Birding here, which it has to because its other attacks don't hit anything on my team, it'll probably take itself out with Recoil. So we trade Megas. But I also get rid of the Whimsicott more quickly this time. Because that's what's coming next. Now, do I go Basculegion for offensive pressure? Nope, because I didn't bring it. You know what? Maybe I should have. But it's just going to have to be Annihilate. Oh, taking out two of their Pokemon. I might just lose to their Basculegion now. I might have needed my Basculegion, actually. Here's the plan. Let's see if they fall for it. I'm just protected. And they didn't take the bait. Okay, Sableye narrowly takes that Water-type Weather Ball. This Basculegion can just win the whole game for them, so I'm going to Thunder Wave it this turn to minimize the chances of that happening. Oh, okay, smart, yeah. And I don't have any boosts on my Rage Fist. Yeah, I'd be putting out way more pressure right now if I had brought Basculegion instead of Sinistcha, which you saw me think about doing at preview. That Hurricane also does way too much. Okay, well, it does do too much. Hospitality can keep me somewhat in this game, but I don't think I ever beat this Pelipper now. Annihilate is faster. The way that I win this is Sinistcha takes a Last Respects. That doesn't seem very likely. They don't attack with Basculegion. Wait, they might have just thrown. Is Annihilate faster than Pelipper? We saw it move before once. I don't have enough damage. Okay. There might actually still be a chance. If I can take out the Basket Legion with my next Rage Fist. I think I can still win this. Rage Powder. Basket Legion knocks out Sinistra. Annihilate knocks out Basket Legion. Annihilate takes a Hurricane. Annihilate knocks out Pelipper. Is how I win this. If that's what happens. Protected again. I think that's GG. They got a double protect. That's a double protect, right? They just protected. So I mean that makes sense, right? I just mapped out exactly how I would win that if they didn't get the double, but I think they did just get the double. Well, that happens. I've gone for so many of those in my time playing VGC. I don't really have room to complain. This is Rage Fist and Pray. Trust it misses. If only. GG's to my opponent. They found what they needed to do. I accidentally typed GG's with a Z there instead of an S. I didn't even need to do that. But now I look edgy and cool or something. Alright, well, that was only round 1. There are 7 more. Opponent said GG, really fun game in the chat. So we're so back. They called it a really fun game. Well, we got one. Pretty much at the buzzer. Any ball preference? Shiny Corviknight's kind of yellowish, right? I don't know. What are we thinking? Silver. Okay. Quick Ball Trust. If you're joking, you have a small window to tell me. Actually, I think I like a Luxury Ball for this. How are we feeling? Ultra could work as well. Heavy. Do I have heavy balls? I think I do. I have a few. Chat seems to like Luxury here. Where'd I go? Where was I? The ball just went flying from Mirhaidon's back on its own. How do I beat Incineroar, King Gambit, Mega Turret? They have 3 Dark types. And I have 6 Ghosts. And they have a Ghost as well. They have Goldango. Okay. I think I've... Once again, there's probably a case for Mega Gengar in this matchup, but once again, my last 2 Pokemon are so bad into most of what my opponent has that we're definitely going to start with this. Okay, the Incineroar has Parting Shot, Fake Out, Post Combat, and Darkest Lariat. The Whimsicott has Tailwind, Dazzling Gleam, Giga Drain, and Encore. Okay, so I cannot bulk up in front of this. It is nice that they've gifted me Defiant, turn 1. Does Incineroar not have Parting Shot? Oh, it does. It's in the first slot. Okay. Neither one of my Pokemon on the field right now is weak to Dark, but both are weak to Fairy, so let's go ahead and go for a Light Screen here. Moonblast. That is a team sheet error. Uh-oh. Their team sheet says Dazzling Gleam. And it doesn't say Moonblast. Oh, that did so much. That's really bad for me. Okay. Well, here's how I can play around it. Yes, it's Encore Whimsicott, I think. I mean, clearly I don't know its moves. If I go Sinistcha and try to take out the Whims. What do I do if there's a team sheet error? I think I play out the game and then call a judge, right? I probably should have saved the instant recording of that Whimsicott using Moonblast, but I'm thinking of that right now. It would have been fine there to just attack with Annihilate, and that would have been a lot less awkward than what's probably coming. I'm going to fish for a double protect, because I would like to not get Encored if I can avoid it. Okay, I don't get it. And I click Matcha Gotcha to get the KO on Whimsicott, so they do Encore me into Protect. That does a bunch to Sinistcha. Whimsicott's gone. But Annihilate is locked into Protect, and if I switch it out, I lose my Rage Fist stacks. And I don't especially have anything to switch it into anyway, and who knows what's coming in. The nice thing is, because my double Protect just failed, the next Protect is guaranteed to succeed at least. King and Gambit, okay. They have no reason not to double the Sinistcha slot, but I'm going to go Sableye, because that way I can bring Sinistcha back in for some more hospitality. And if Sableye does somehow survive this turn, I can also go for a Reflect, but I don't love my chances of that. Darkest Lariat also ignores defense boost, right? Maybe they thought it'd switch Annihilate there. So even if I were to bulk up with Annihilate, which I've so far not gotten a chance to do this game, it still wouldn't reduce the damage from Incineroar. I don't know how Reflect interacts with that, though. Darkest Lariat into Sableye, okay. Kowtow Cleave into Annihilate. Tailwind ends, that is good. This is the last turn of Encore, and I'm guaranteed to get a successful Protect here. I'm going to leave Sableye in. I think they might knock it out. And it would be nice to get Sinistcha back in and also be able to click Rage Powder next turn. If it doesn't work, I don't think it's the end of the world. But it looks like it does work. Yeah, so I'm sacking Sableye to get Sinistcha in safely. And the Encore is over after this turn, so I can start clicking Drain Punch. And Annihilate's at what, like +1 attack? Because I think I did get intimidated. Yeah. What's the item on King Gambit? Citrus. I'm down to Drain Punch, King Gambit, and Rage Powder. Yeah, they're protected. That was the one downside of that play. It's a pretty significant downside, actually, because if they knock out Sinistra here, they can force in my Basket Legion and Sucker Punch it. Oh well. Oh, they don't knock out Sinistra. Let's go. 6 HP. What could they have in the back? That's not the way to check. They could still have Goldengo in the back. But I'm going to take my chances. They don't switch. Knock out King Gambit. And get back to full. Do they have Sneasler or probably Tyranitar in the back, right? Probably not Sneasler. If we haven't seen it yet. I guess for as much as I'm worried about this coaching Sneasler, it also has trouble in this matchup doing anything other than coaching. So it's not the easiest bring for them. Now, am I right on what to do with the team sheet error? I think I should, as soon as game 1 is over, call a judge. Something about it feels a little dirty, but I mean, it's not my fault that they have an error. Just Drain Punch, Tyranitar, and Wave Crash, Incineroar. Is there only Mega? But I don't think it can win at this point. It protects this turn. Yeah, Incineroar's just knocked out by the Wave Crash. That'll be GG, and then, yeah, maybe an awkward interaction coming up. They forfeit. Okay. So I don't know if I'm following exactly the right procedure. Oh, they've already marked game 1 as a loss, so okay, I'm going to call a judge now. I guess opponent's deck does not match their deck list is the reason I should select. Over 100 judge calls this round already. Yeah, that checks out. In that case, hey, someone was pretty quick to show up at least. You have to change Whimsicott to fit the OTS Whimsicott, blah, blah, blah. It'll be a game loss for the game where this was found. Which I already won the game without that. So we can go ahead with game 2 now. All right, let's go. Hang on. W. Did you leave a third comment, Robbie? I see the W on the Gen 1. Did you leave a comment on the Gen 2 one as well or something? Let's not leave my opponent hanging. Okay, I don't know what else to do here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a spider on my wall. Whimsicott Goldango. Uh-oh. Do I just lose to Goldango? It's Nasty Plot Goldango. Maybe. Let's tickle it a little bit. I can't even Thunderwave Goldango. I can't Thunderwave 2/3 of their team. We've been over this. Okay, they fixed their set. That gives me a Rage Fist boost, though. And they make it rain. They don't Shadow Ball Annihilate. So they take out Sableye, but they give me 2-stack Rage Fist immediately. And I did just click Rage Fist into Goldango because I didn't know what else to do here. And it's Life Orb Goldango, so it gives me 10% of its HP right there. I was so much more scared of some kind of Nasty Plot setup. But okay, Goldango's already gone. Life comes at you fast, I guess. And they forfeit. Okay. Alright, well, maybe they still just wanted to give me a walkover after all. I didn't ask for that, but that's their business. GG's. And they complimented my Ghost Gym Leader title. Alright. That opponent was nice. It's an I mean, it's obviously they created the problem themselves, but it's an unfortunate situation with the team sheet error. But okay, 1-1 now. I could just stick to what I know. Or I could try to get Cerulege in here somewhere. Which is excellent into both of their Megas. And unexcellent into most of the rest of their team. The Shadow Sneak is nice to have too. Well, when in doubt, I'll stick to the classic mode for game 1 at least. Don't know what to expect. If it's Whimsicott Charizard lead, then I'll wish I had a Cerulege in the back to switch in. Garchomp Whimsicott, okay. Four attacks Chomp. It has that Dragon Tail. I think I will take my chances turn 1 though. I'm gonna bulk up and Light Screen. I can at least land a big hit into something before I get Dragon Tailed out. Probably. Moonblast. Does some damage, for sure. Because it's Life Orb Whimsicott. Right, I forgot. Oh, they Dragon Tail turn 1. Okay. So I took a bunch of damage on my ape for nothing. I gambled on that, and I lost the bet. Basculegion's forced in, though. I'm not mad at that. Because I want to get this Life Orb Whimsicott out of here. The problem is I don't have anything good to click into it, because I don't have any stacks on my last respects yet. Well, let's just go for damage. There's no Tailwind, so they went for an attack. Is it Grass Knot into my Basculegion? Probably, right? Yep. That does so much. Oh no. I'm running out of win cons already. So they're gonna knock out my Basculegion early. That's not something I'm used to with this team. I doubt that crit mattered. Back to Ape. probably straight to... I think I just protect and switch to Sinistra to get some health back. Then I still have to worry about the Moonblast next turn. I could Thunderwave Whimsicott instead of switching, but obviously I've locked in my move, so I can't right now. But that was an option, I suppose. Go for their Tailwind here. Rock Slide with Chomp, okay. Well, I'm gonna need those screens to come through for me. Rage Fist Whims. And I could sneak in a Life Dew here, or maybe I could set Trick Room. Get Tailwind up, but not for much longer. But I only have my slow stuff left at this point. About, so I think Trick Room is worth a shot. I really do. This is gonna hurt. But then the question is, what does Garchomp go for? I did not know that Life Orb Whimsicott was gonna be one of my... Earthquake. Oh no, oh, my Rage Fist is gonna go into Garchomp. Am I gonna lose my Ape to Rough Skin? I didn't think about that. I did not know that Life Orb Whimsicott was going to be the nightmare matchup today. No! Alright. Sinistra and Sableye can sometimes win a game, but this is not looking good. They could still have their Charizard Y in the back. Yeah, they do. See what Foul Play does to it. Honestly, no. The Wincon is full paras forever. So is Thunderwave Charizard, even though I have Trick Room up. Burn? Okay, I get the Mantra Gotcha burn, but I think I'm just going to lose to Charizard anyway. Yeah. Alright, well both my Pokemon survived the turn. Let's see what a Foul Play does to this Charizard. What do I do in game 2? I think I need Cerulege. But I need that to not just lose to Garchomp if it's gonna work. Okay, got the full pair this turn. And the burned Garchomp isn't doing much damage. It did crit my Sinistra, but couldn't really tell. It has to be Cerulege in game 2. But how does it work? Cerulege, Sableye, Reflect, Bitter Blade, or even Swords Dance? Probably just Bitter Blade. Okay, Sableye dodges Heat Wave, but Sinisha doesn't. And with their Tailwind being over, I don't even get the Life Dew this turn. Dragon Tail into Sableye. And I have no recovery left, so that is GG. Because they can just use Earthquake, they won't even miss. Oh, they didn't even let me get another foul play into Charizard. Alright, that's game 1. Gonna have to do something different in game 2. One too far. There we go. Try this. Sadly, leave the Sinistra behind. Okay, same lead from them. Well, let's see. I'm probably going to take a lot of damage from this Garchomp. I guess I have to be afraid of Charizard coming in. They protect their Whimsicott turn 1. Swords Dance was tempting, but I just didn't know. That does so much. Oh, it crit me. What does a foul play do to this Garchomp? Will I get to find out, or is Life Orb Whimsicott gonna knock out my Sableye first? I do have an idea starting to form, though, if I'm being honest. No, I should have gone for Light Screen. I'm just falling apart in this matchup. Light Screen would have been way more helpful in the longer run in this game. Yeah, I think what I need to do is basically try to win with Annihilate when I have few enough Pokemon left that they can't Dragon Tail it out. So Light Screen would have been a lot more helpful. Instead, I'm going to try to aggressively get rid of this Whimsicott, I guess, so they can't click Moonblast into Annihilate. Okay, that works. They also don't set Tailwind. If they knock out Ceruledge here, that boosts my last respects. They don't knock out Ceruledge here, it actually survives. Who's coming in? Their own Basculegion. Uh-oh. Okay, but they're not Scarfed. Okay, but they're not Scarfed. So, let's see. They protected this turn? I thought they might, like, Aqua Jet snipe my Ceruledge. Now they can do that next turn. Oh well. Might have been actually better to let Ceruledge go down this turn. Get Annihilate bin when there's no Charizard on the field. Alright. I will sack my Ceruledge to this Rough Skin. If they don't Aqua Jet me first. That's a silly idea. I'm going to make my Basculegion take extra damage for nothing and lose the game. Oh well. Kind of the only way forward. Knock out their fish. One of their fish. They still have a shark. Basculegion survives. I still have my ape. They can't Dragon Tail it out anymore. The problem is, like, the obvious thing for me to do here is Last Respects Charizard and count on Annihilate to beat Garchomp in the endgame. But given that that's obvious, I think they protect Charizard, so I'm actually going to Last Respects Garchomp. Is Last Respects a contact move? My guess is no, but I don't know. I feel a lot better off if I have Basculegion after this turn, but I don't know that I will. I'm calling a Protect on their Charizard. I think that makes a ton of sense for them here. Okay, I got that right. Knock out the Garchomp with the Last Respects crit. And it's not a contact move. Let's go. That should win game 2. They forfeit. Okay. There's still game 3. What do I even do in game 3? I'm gonna leave Basculegion. No. Maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna go back to the ape lead, but I'll bring Cerulege in the back. I don't know what my opponent's gonna throw at me because they just led Whimsicott Garchomp in both of those 2 games. I could see them doing it again, but I could see them doing something different. To be honest, Chad, I'm already getting a little tired, which is not a great sign. In round 3 out of 8 today. Whimsicott Basculegion. Well, that's immediately very threatening right off the bat. What do they have on their Basculegion? The usual stuff, I think. Yep. The nice thing is it's not boosted Last Respects yet. So I feel okay to Light Screen. The one thing that's awkward about leading Basculegion is it doesn't have any of those boosts. Still a very threatening Mon, obviously. And there's still this Life Orb Whimsicott, but at least the Dragon Tail Garchomp isn't on the field right now, so I have clicked Bulk Up. But I don't have Sinistcha in the back this time, so damage on Annihilate is a bunch more awkward than it otherwise could be. Also, if they just Wave Crash me here, I might be in trouble. Last Respects. But it's just raw 50 power. It still KOs. No! That's really, really bad for me because I can't safely go to my Basculegion yet because I can still set Tailwind. Which is why I'm going to try to put pressure on this Whimsicott. And I'm actually just going to Thunder Wave their Basculegion right now. I don't think Reflect even does enough for me here. Okay, they Moonblast Sableye. Is this with Light Stream? It still KOs. Why is Life Orb Whimsicott so strong? Well, I get my Bitter Blade, though. Which is good, because I think at this point I'm counting on my Basculegion to sweep. If there's any Pokeball that could do that, that's the one. But it's probably going to be an uphill battle. If they Wave Crash me, he's going to one-shot. Yep, so I just have Basculegion left against 3 Pokemon, but I do have my fully boosted Last Respects. If they have Staraptor in the back, they can just not Mega Evolve it and win, because I have to lock into Last Respects here. So that's a great adjustment by them if that's what they've done. Charizard first. Oh, that is Solar Beam, doesn't it? So, I mean, wherever this Last Respect goes, I'm in a lot of danger from the other Mon. I'm going to target Charizard because I think their Basculegion is marginally more likely to protect this turn, and because it also is marginally more likely to be fully paralyzed. Okay, then Mega Evolve. I don't think Charizard is doing that just to protect right now. Last Respects knock it out, sit out. The downside to this is I'm giving them the boost on their Last Respects, so I actually do need a full para here. They didn't protect their Basculegion. I don't get the full para. GG's. 1 and 2. This was a tough one. Life Orb, Whimsicott, and Dragon Tail Garchomp was actually a pretty big problem. Whoa, there it is! Oh my god, that actually worked. Why do I think a Dive Ball would look incredible with this? It's a really silly ball for this Pokemon, but then it is a crab. What do you think, Kramer? Peek? Yeah, I mean, look at that. Blue and white. And it disappeared again. Alright, move over, Mega Crabominable. There's a new crab ready to dominate the meta once it's allowed in the game. Speaking of which... Is that a random shiny Medicham? I have a Rock-type sandwich on. I was about to go check on the tournament. The tournament's fine. Like 30 matches left. Recover. I did not sandwich this. Here, let me take away my own psychic weakness in case it wants to target that. Might need sleep. I clicked Spore this time. Alright, what's the ball for this? Dive isn't the worst, but it's more yellow than white this time. Quick is honestly not the worst, despite the stigma. Lure. Beast is very reasonable, but obviously it's not very likely to work. Do you think I should try, Raymer? Try one Beast Ball. Expected outcome. Didn't even shake. So even if I'd crit that catch, it wouldn't have caught. I think quick is reasonable. It does match. What do you think, Kramer? Is that a shiny Lycanroc? Did I just find 3 shinies with 1 sandwich, one of which was not even affected by the sandwich? You know what? This one's also blue and white. This could be another dive ball. See, this is what this Breloom does that I find so silly. Because it loves me so much, it expels the poison that I want it to have, hence it holding a toxic orb that immediately poisons it again. In a couple rounds, you might hunt Terrakion. I guess rock types are kind of the theme right now, huh? And that's a fighting type. You can get some residual Metacham luck. I woke up. We can fix that. What do you think, dive ball? Okay. I think leading Gengar makes a lot of sense into this. But Gengar and what? Basculegion in the back, for sure, 1,000,000%. I think maybe this is a matchup where I leave the support Pokemon behind. It's Hypercut or Mawile, not Intimidate, so that's worse for Annihilate, better for Ceruledge. But it is Intimidate and Incineroar. I'm going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work out for me. I think there's a good chance it doesn't, but we're going to try this for game 1. Good luck, have fun. Why do I keep rolling Canary's music? Not that I'm complaining. Here's Frigoraph Mawile. Knockoff Mawile. Kinda scary. A little bit scary. I'm taunting this giraffe and hoping for the best. Maybe leading Gengar Basculegion could have been good here, but I think I prefer Basculegion in the back in this matchup. But that is my immediate turbo offense lead with this team. That could have been worth considering. They didn't switch anything, by the way. Expanding Force, so they didn't try to pull anything when I had Taunt on the board. They just double Gengar, knock it out, okay. But that does give me, I was gonna say Basculegion, but I actually think I'd rather go Ceruledge here. Save Basculegion for the late game. Let's see a Bitter Blade into this Mawile. I'm worried that they'll switch. I could have Swords Dance here, actually. I'm worried that they'll switch Frigoraph out. I think Swords Dance here was probably better. Oh well. Might be playing too quickly. Might need to slow down. It stayed in. The +1 Drain Punch is not a 2-hit KO into the Farigiraf. That's good to know. Mawile narrowly survives the Bitter Blade. Expanding Force into Ape. They never got to set their terrain. Knock off into Ceruledge. That's my one use of the Cold Berry. Now I think I double Farigiraf because I'm in a way better spot if they never get Trick Room. They don't seem to be switching this thing out. Never mind. Machamp, okay. They protect the Mawile, so they don't do any damage this turn. Farigiraf is always threatened, as long as they still have 2 Pokemon when it comes back in. Okay, Machamp surviving that is probably good, because I can look for the chance to knock out Mawile now. What does this Machamp have? Expert Belt, no guard, of course. Rock Slide, Dynamic Punch, High Horsepower, Detect. Oh, it's nice that this team doesn't have to worry about Dynamic Punch. They're just letting me have 2 KOs here? Wait until I get hit with Soak? I don't think this opponent has that, but hey, maybe someone does. Okay, Farigiraf and what? Hopefully something not very threatening, because I would love to just knock out the Giraffe. I've already Mega'd. That's just Incineroar. So it'll give me Defiant. So then Drain Punch probably does knock out Farigiraf from there. But I see no reason not to Bitter Blade it anyway, just to be sure. But yeah, of course the KO's at +2. At that range. Hey, we got a bit of damage into Incineroar with that -1 Bitter Blade. I'll take that. Throat Chop into Ceruledge. KOs, but I have Basculegion in the back. I guess I do not have to reveal that. Okay, so that went very smoothly, but I don't know if I can pull off the same stuff in game 2. I think I'm going to try my Turbo Offense lead in game 2. Does that make sense? Again, that's Basculegion Gengar. I don't know if that does make sense. I could try Reuniclus stuff in game 2, maybe. I think I'm going to do same Pokemon, different order, and see what that gets me. The thing is, I gained a lot of advantage in that last game just by taunting Farigiraf turn 1, but they don't have to let me do that again. But the last minute change to taunt Gengar definitely paid off in that game 1. I swear, it feels like this music is not even random. It keeps doing the same 2 tracks. Blastoise has Dark Pulse. Machamp, you might recall, has high horsepower. And it cannot miss. I think I'm down to try to get my 8-bit on this. These look like reasonable setup food. I should probably have attacked the Blastoise to weaken its water spout. Oh, this was silly of me. I should have Sludge Bombed the Blastoise. Instead of protecting for no good reason. Oh well. Maybe they'll Dark Pulse the Basculegion slot? If they Dark Pulse either slot, that's good. If they Water Spout, I'm less happy. Dark Pulse into Ape, okay. That's a free Rage Fist stack. High Horsepower into Gengar, okay. Bulk up and... I could preserve Gengar, but yeah, I think I've convinced myself that damage on Blastoise is pretty valuable at this point. And even if things blow up on me and I lose my Gengar, I mean, that helps Basculegion in the back. Although I have to be wary about locking into Last Respects because they probably have their Farigiraf. It seems like a massively important Pokemon to their team. So the fact that they didn't lead with it doesn't mean they don't have it. Okay, the Sludge Bomb weakens the Water Spout a pretty good amount there. High Horsepower. This time we'll connect with Gengar. And yeah, I know that my +1... I'm gonna go Cerulege. I know that my +1 Drain Punch is unfortunately not a 2-shot into Farigiraf. Cerulege gives me a little bit more offensive edge without committing anything on Basculegion. We'll see how this goes for me. Nice that they've attacked Annihilate a couple times. There goes their Mega. And the main thing that Cerulege was afraid of. Although Machamp has a couple of attacks to hit Cerulege pretty hard. It does survive a Bitter Blade. And goes for high horsepower into Cerulege. And almost KOs. Wow. That did some damage. I'm actually kind of vulnerable if Farigiraf comes in right now. And it does. Well, let's just double into it and see what happens. They detect on Machamp. They could definitely be trying to set Trick Room here, and my taunt is no longer available. I don't think I'm going to knock out Farigiraf this turn. Wow, that does even less than before. That was a bad roll, I think. They do get their Trick Room. I'll protect through the first turn of it. But I am kind of vulnerable because they can knock out Cerulege pretty easily with Machamp. Actually, I'm going to attack Farigiraf with Gengar, but I'll protect Cerulege, or with Annihilate, but I'll protect Cerulege. That way I'm not leaving myself open to like Psychic Terrain into Expanding Force, unless their last mon is Reuniclus, which it could be. Keep Cerulege for this turn. No Psychic Terrain, just Expanding Force immediately. Okay, that's good. I get rid of the Giraffe. Annihilate. I don't know why I keep calling it Gengar. Annihilate is not very afraid of Machamp, so that much is nice. Telegraph being gone means Ceruledge can at least click Shadow Sneak, and Basculegion can click Aqua Jet. What's their last? Incineroar. Okay, free boost. Does Incineroar do anything very threatening? I mean, a Flare Blitz could hit pretty hard. I'll protect my Ape just to be safe. And I might as well take the KO on Machamp if I can with Shadow Sneak. Before Ceruledge goes down. That does KO. It crits. And what does Incineroar go for? Throat Chop into Ape. Nope, into Ceruledge. That just was delayed because of the berry. Still KOs. That's fine. I go Basculegion. I click Aqua Jet and Drain Punch. And there we go. This was, I guess, a showcase of another way to play this team. Now that I have somewhat stronger Pokemon in the last 2 slots than I had before. GG's to my opponent. That's a scary Blastoise, Mawile, Trick Room team, but yeah, I had some answers to it. Taunt Gengar, a late change to my team, definitely paying off here, as it looks like we were in the first... Only about 200 matches have finished. We were in... I was going to say we were in the first 300, but like we're way closer to 200 than 3, so I might be waiting for a bit here. We'll try this. Psychic Fangs is Brick Break's ignored cousin? That's not true. It's younger, but then it was the new baby that got all the attention. Brick Break is the ignored one. This person plays a lot of standard stuff. Huh, you saw those badges? That's green bulk up. Whose music is this? I don't remember. Oh, it's Tawny right before you fight the tower, right? Or Urbane if he's in the game. I think that's what this one is. Electroshock goes into. Ape? Sableye. They just made sure to get rid of that quickly. Okay. Well, okay. But kind of want to go Gengar immediately. I don't know if I can actually do that. I think I need to save Gengar for the late game. What's the Pelipper's item? Sash? Okay, kind of awkward. Does our Chaladon have Protect? Yes. I'll take my chances here. Could see like Protect Tailwind. I think I saw that the Pelipper has Tailwind. It does. See if I can do something about that. No protect. Okay, I knocked Pelipper down to its sash. I poison it, so the Rage Fist is a little redundant now, but oh well. Reduce that Tailwind. And what's this Electro Shot going into? I prefer Ape, but my opponent probably doesn't want to do what I prefer. Now it's Gengar. Okay. Who comes in? It's been really awkward so far for me. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's really not good for me. I think I do need to try to get Sinistcha on the field. And then obviously I can't redirect anything from Meganium, but it can from Archaludon. Downside of protecting Ape there is I don't get any Rage Fist boost from this Dazzling Gleam. But they don't get massive damage into Ape right away like that. Only 2 turns of Tailwind left, so Trick Room really doesn't do a whole lot for me at this point. I think it has to be Rage Fist into Meganium. Okay, Sinistcha takes a Weather Ball. So our Archaludon's attack will be redirected and probably knock out Sinistcha. They're just spamming that Electro Shot. I think they're at like +4 now. Oh, and that means they never hit Annihilate still, so my Rage Fist is just has the +1 stat boost, and that's it. Oh, man. I can get out of their Tailwind now, but I don't think I have enough left to win this. I'm gonna double Archaludon because that thing's are like +5 special attack. But that means they're free to knock out Gengar. Then I probably lose, but we'll see. I also don't know their last Pokemon. Special defense drop. Unfortunately, that's not helpful to my next attack. Does like nothing. Alright. That's game one. Surely. I don't think there's a way to get back into this game. I'll play to my outs, though. Who's this? Sure. Oh, what are they cooking? Getting a reflect up to play it extra safe? In that case... Or they could quash. I think without the light screen I'm cooked anyway, but maybe I crit if I crit this... No, if I crit this Drain Punch I still lose to Meganium. Oh well. Okay, that's game one. I'll lead more aggressively in game two. Let's see what that does for me. Thought Burrow out on again, but this time. Let's flip turn and Sludge Bomb Pelipper. Winning off a para is hype, if you say so. Hey, maybe that's my key to this set, except I didn't bring Sableye to this game, so never mind. Okay, take Pelipper out turn 1. But now what? Sinistra here against the Arch. Maybe I should go. Oh well. I like Sinistra for the Rage Powder and Electric Resist. Does nicely tank that Electro Shot. But if I brought Annihilate Bane on that would be my first Rage Fist stack right there. But I have no Light Screen in this game, so whatever. Okay, this is no attack Sableye. I'm tempted. It might be better to just attack Archaludon. Let's go for the shenanigans. Also, just attacking Sableye was a reasonable option there. But anyway, Light Screen. Kind of saw that coming, yeah. Another Electro Shot into my Sinistra. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the thing right now. I think I let Archaludon set up a whole bunch, but I don't give it stamina boosts. And then I hope that my fast attackers can deal with it. Might even be able to take another Electro Shot at this point. Now, what do they have in the back? Because they can switch Sableye out of the Shadow Tag, of course. Alright. Shadow Ball's fine. It's also my stronger attack into Sableye. Not strong enough, though. That's a 3-hit KO. That's not exactly what I was counting on. Oh yeah, but if they struggle, at least they take the damage from that. That's true. Will they let me get rid of the Sableye now? Or will they switch it out? I know which one I prefer. Yeah, and it's not the one I get. Meganium. Okay. Nice crit. Electro Shot into. I hope it's an ape. It's not ape. No. Problem. Probably gonna run out of gas too quickly again. Because they have Sableye in the back. Let's see. They can bring Sableye in and Quash, and that probably wins them the game, but we'll see what kind of position we get out of this turn. Last respects, big crit. Nope. Meganium moves next. Aw, man. Oh, I crit with the wrong one. A last respects crit there would put me in a way better position. Okay, I think I lose the Dragon Pulse now, but I'll try not to. But it's probably going to happen. Let's get back whatever HP I can. And then I think Drain Punch is still stronger than Rage Fist into our Chaldon right now. Got one with Basculate, or if I'd last respected Meganium instead of our Chaldon, maybe. But I think the Quash Sableye is always a giant problem, either way. So yeah, I just bet everything on the one-shot into our Chaldon there, which I didn't really think I'd get. It was close. Alright, GG's. 2 and 3. I put Cerulege on my team because I was scared of Mega Pyroar, and I haven't run into a single Mega Pyroar. And I have run into 2 rain teams. Oh well. This Garchomp doesn't have Dragon Tail, so that's nice. It does have Helping Hand, of all things. And their Whimsicott doesn't... Wait, their Charizard has Roar. Wait. Okay, wait. It's not Dragon Tail Garchomp, but it is Roar Mega Charizard Y. I'm in trouble. No Rock Slide Garchomp, but have you checked for Dragon Tail? Does this give me enough into their Charizard? Never mind the Basket Legion. Yes, if Tailwind isn't up. They don't have any kind of Ghost Resist. Okay, I'll try this, game 1. Poison Jab. I think the one I faced with Dragon Tail also had Poison Jab. I think it was 4 attacks. This one's 3 attacks and Helping Hand. What is their Charizard? No Roar. Why does that actually pretty badly mess with my Annihilate? This is doubles. I don't expect to run into what singles players used to call probably still call pseudo-hazing moves. Moves that force the opponent to switch. Getting rid of any boost they have. That doesn't come up much in doubles unless you're running it as a really janky way to stop Trick Room. What, 2 out of 6 opponents so far today have had pseudo-hazing. Often abbreviated to phasing, and I'm not sure today's players know where that name comes from. They're using it like haze to get rid of stat boosts. Canary again. It's like at least half the games won today. Okay, I'm kind of relieved to not see Charizard in the lead, or Basket Legion. Oh, but Bulk Up doesn't work because they do have Encore. Do they have an attack on ones? Yeah, they have Moonblast. Still Light Screen first, though. Because that's more threatening than anything Garchomp has, before I even account for the Helping Hand. Right, of course. Into Sableye. I think I'd prefer it be Annihilate so that I could start boosting my Rage Fist. But oh well. It does like nothing. What? Tailwind? Is Garchomp gonna do something? Please attack my ape. Dragon Claw into Sableye. Okay. I had either Gengar or Ceruledge, I'd be in a better spot here. Tailwind up. Alright, I think I have to pull this trigger early. Oh, yes, correct, Robbie. And they have Roar on their Charizard Y. They all call me into Rage Fest. That drains my PP, unfortunately. But I'm glad I didn't click bulk up a turn earlier than this. And they're just focusing down the Basket Legion. Which I understand, it's a giant threat to them. I hope this Last Respects does a ton of damage. It's not really a ton. I hope the Rage Fist goes into Whimsicott. I didn't get to choose the target this time, but okay, it works out. You're being checked by the auto mod? What does that mean? There's the Nightmare. Your message saying Roarzard didn't send? I don't know what that's about. I'm gonna preserve my Basket Legion because it's a lot better for the rest of this game when their Tailwind is over. But my Annihilate is stuck clicking Rage Fist. Helping Hand, Last Respects. It is Sinistra. No! Okay, I think I just lose game one. I think I got bodied here. Try something. Robbie, if you weren't here, I also only have audio in my right ear right now because I think my headphones are broken. So things are a little messy. That crit absolutely did not matter. Okay, the hope is dash immediately. The hope involved Annihilate. Oh, they helping handed, didn't they? The hope involved Annihilate taking a hit from Basket Legion. And getting the KO with that Rage Fist. No show at X and 2. Wow. Okay, so that was game one. I have no idea what that title on my opponent's means. Robbie, you just sent something that's been automatically censored, so let me check what it was. Absolutely not. Scarfed Basque. Okay, I have an idea for kind of a cheesy mode here. We'll leave the Sableye behind and see if this can do something. Oh, Robbie, I think I know what's happening to your messages. It's not just the word ape, it's your ape. I think you're getting Scunthorped. Oh, they changed their lead. Which music is this? I can't tell with only my right ear. Oh, it's Corbeau. Nice. Let's go. What does this Ninetales have? No fairy move. It has Roar? They have Roar on 2 Pokemon? What am I... Where are we? The Ninetales also has Roar. I'm going for the bulk up anyway. We'll see if they Roar turn 1. Last time I made a play like this against an opponent with Dragon Tail, they did use it turn 1 and I was sad, but we'll see. It's the Mega Glamora. Great for a Power Gem into Sarrel Edge that just one-shots, okay. Does Ninetales not having moved yet imply that it did go for Roar? No, Aurora Veil, okay. I mean, that's not great for me, but it's a little bit better, I think. Okay, go fish. I think I'm down to just try to get this Glamora out of here. Oh, okay, that was a bad double up. Freeze right into Basket Legion. Doesn't KO at least. Try to preserve Basket Legion. But I'm already falling behind again. Who's coming in? The Whims. Okay. Okay, they locked me to Drain Punch. It's not okay, it's pretty bad. But what can you do? Is this Ninetales super slow or did they go for Roar here? Burn Whimsicott, okay. Roar, confirmed. Why did they do that? I don't understand that play, but okay. Burn on Whimsicott is nice.
set their Tailwind. That KOs. That had to be a bad roll. Oh, it was a crit. That makes sense, yeah. I think that crit was necessary, judging by the earlier freeze dry damage. Well, they have Tailwind, so I guess I will lock into Aqua Jet and probably just lose to their Basculegion in the back. I didn't see your message anyway, Robbie. But if you influence the crit... Check Whims. Okay, hold on. Now what? Takes the Aqua Jet. Knocks out Basculegion. Now I'm down to just Annihilate, but they still have their Encore on the board. So that'll be GG's, I think. Wow, I got absolutely beaten down this set. Encore ended. The problem is they can just do another one. But maybe they mess up somehow. They don't. Alright. Wow, lucky targeting, but it makes no difference here. Alright, it is now at 2 and 4, it's now impossible to go positive. I can still go 500, so that's the goal now. But I guess we found the limits of what I can do with a team like this. It's nice to test them out, though. Does anyone know what that title means on my opponent's character there? Because I don't have the slightest idea. Try something a little different here. Gengar lead. To try to threaten things like Whimsicott and Vivillon immediately. Annihilate in the back for sure. They have two different Soccer Punch users, which makes Basculegion kind of scared. I'll try Cerulege. I don't know what lead I expected, but not this. Gonna switch Gengar straight out to Annihilate and go for my Reflect. I think that's the best thing I can do in this position. You're facing Sand plus Frostlass? That's interesting. I wonder what they're cooking.
Shame I don't get to bulk up turn 1 here. They just went for Sucker Punch into Gengar, I assume. Probably not a Disabli. But what's the Blaziken gonna do? Rock Slide. Okay. That's a Rage Fist stack. Life Orb King Gambit, by the way. I'm willing to go for a bulk up here. Now let's go for Light Screen for later. Rip a Flare Blitz into my ape. Oh my god, that must have crit me. Oh no. That might lose me the game on the spot. I'm not even kidding. Because how do I beat their King Gambit now? Okay, they have absolutely loved clicking Sucker Punch so far. So yeah, I'm going to try for a Greedy Swords Dance. This works a lot better if I get a full Para on their Blaziken here. And I feel like I deserve it. Not that that really enters into the equation. I don't get one. Alright, well, moment of truth. Can I get this Bitter Blade off into their King Gambit? Sucker Punched into Culver Berry. Does not KO, but what about Blaziken? It's been speed boosting for a while, even though it's paralyzed. Gets the Rock Slide. That's GG. Gengar is never beating this King Gambit. Okay, I'm taking a calculated risk in game 2. That's the calculated risk. Just lead with the ape this time. Try not to get crit again. Same lead from them. Let's see. Committing hard to the Mega Blaziken again. Kind of nice, because honestly I think I was more afraid of the Mega Blastoise, but hey, for all the good this is doing me so far. That does a lot regardless, I guess. But it's okay, I think I can switch to Sinisha if I want.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable thing for me to do here. Try to get rid of this Blaziken before it crits me again. This is still gonna hurt. Okay, I was expecting a burn there, but they didn't get one. Good. Blaziken's gone, now what? Whimsicott. That's awkward when I wanted to click Protect. It's also awkward for Drain Punch into King Gambit. The point is they can Encore me. It's also Sash Whimsicott. I'm going to risk going for the Drain Punch into King Gambit here. And just Rage Powder to stop the Sucker Punch that they love to click with this thing. They just Moonblast my Ape. I didn't cover for that, did I? No! And they finally stopped clicking Sucker Punch every turn. Alright, it's gotta be Cerulege. Bitter Blade. Life Dew. Just try to keep my stuff healthy as much as I can. I guess they know not to Sucker Punch in this position anyway. They Encore Sinistcha. Okay, so I can't Life Dew. I'm stuck clicking Rage Powder. But that's not bad. So that's okay. They locked me into Rage Powder and they went for Sucker Punch, so that's a strange set of plays there. I don't get the KO on King Gambit though. But King Gambit is so vulnerable now. It's not really in a good position to do anything here. So just Bitter Blade and Rage Powder again. Protector King Gambit, but what does Whimsicott do? Moonblast. Looked like that was into Cerulege. That's not going to do very much, I don't think. Nope. Okay, same thing again. They stayed in. Set Tailwind. So they get their Kowtow Cleave now. Need a Sinistcha. KOs, not great. But I need Cerulege to win the game at this point anyway. Oh, it's Life Orb King Gambit, so that knocks itself out. And now my Bitter Blade is redirected into Whimsicott. It'll survive because it has the Focus Sash, but that's still progress. Okay, I have to go Sableye. We'll see what their last mon is. Absol. It's Crit Absol. It's Crit Absol. End of thought, honestly.
I mean, I have the Colbur Berry. But if they crit me, I don't know how much that helps. The Moonblast goes into Cerulege, which is an interesting choice. Just trying to make sure they can get that KO. Night Slash, there's my Colbur Berry. It doesn't KO. With a crit, let's go. Okay, so I get a Bitter Blade into Absol, and I get... I knock out the Whimsicott because I clicked Foul Play into it, and oh wow, that did so much. Okay, I think that's a win in game 2, because I can click whatever into Absol next turn. I could do probably Shadow Sneak, Bitter Blade. It doesn't matter. I just attack Absol with both of my Pokemon and I win. So we are going to game 3 by the skin of my teeth, honestly. We'll knock out Cerulege. We get the Absol with a Foul Play. Okay. Game 3 time. Can I beat this team a second time? I don't know. I'm gonna try leading Cerulege, because I think a Whimsicott lead is an adjustment they can make. Yeah, Whimsicott Absol, that's so bad for me. But I am down turn 1 to just Bitter Blade Whims. I think they... No, it doesn't have Protect. Okay. Bitter Blade Whims. And Reflect. Okay, they Tailwind. A Night Slash crit should not knock out Cerulege. But it does put me in a tough spot for the rest of the game. But I get a ton of damage into their Whimsy now. Do I have to just let my Cerulege go down here? I'm going to try to Shadow Sneak the Whims, but I'm also going to Foul Play the Whims. This way there's a chance that Cerulege gets the KO, yep. And so my Foul Play gives me some damage on Absol. This will take out Cerulege for sure. You did your best, Cerulege. Hopefully it was enough. That's good damage. Unfortunately, it's just short of KOing with another one. I go Ape now, for sure. There's their King Gambit. Real problem, Mon. Can I just double Absol with Drain Punch and Foul Play? I hope so. That's what I went for. Oh, I forgot they have Psycho Cut. Oh, it does so much. Maybe I needed to... I might have thrown here. There was a better play. Oh, that sucks so much. I think this was winnable. But I think I had to protect Annihilate that turn and switch Sableye out to Sinistcha. The foul play knocks out the Absol. I was fine if I just protected there. I just had to protect there. Oh, that's so sad. For me, obviously. This is over. I can't win now. I don't think. I just did not have it today, huh? There was a way to win this game, and I just found it a moment too late. I'm really bummed about that, honestly. That's not even the right target, but it doesn't matter. I'll drop the Sucker Punch here. GG's. If I protect Annihilate and switch to Sinistcha on that other turn, there's a very real chance I win this. I guess it's still hard. I'll be honest, I thought I would go 4-4 today. That was about my expectation, and even that's now not possible. Not the Roar. They have Roar on their Farigiraf, which, hey, makes more sense to me than Roar on Mega Charizard Y or Alolan Ninetales. What are people trying to force out? Like boosted Floette or something? Maybe. I guess there are a lot of teams that use stat boosts pretty heavily these days. But still. But I hope to at least break even, and that is now out of reach. But we'll try to end on a win. Let's do this properly. Even though I still only have audio in my right ear. Oh well. It's properly for you. Maybe I need to be able to sludge bomb the fairies. Dual fairy, and I can't Terra Fire. No. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay. Might be able to work with this. What does the Incineroar have? About the usual stuff you'd expect.
Straight for a Flare Blitz and Ape. That's probably good for me. That did a lot of damage, actually. Oh, but it could Twin Beam. That actually didn't do too much. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're getting somewhere. So far. Here in game 1. By the way, if anyone in chat knows whether each individual hit of Twin Beam is a Rage Fist stack, I don't know. Instant out. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. That's fine. I was worried it was going to be an Encore user. That goes through Protect? I don't even know what to say. Life Orb Garchomp, I can do some non-negligible damage to it here. And maybe that can create openings for my Gengar. Missing Machagacha into Garchomp is pretty bad. That was the one I wanted to hit. At least I burned Farigiraf. It's kind of funny that the Farigiraf is nicknamed Hoodie. I got my girlfriend to nickname all the Pokemon on the Scarlet and Violet version of this Ghost team, as I sometimes do with my teams. And she named the Hisuian Typhlosion Hoodie on that one. So as soon as Hoodie popped up here, I was like, wait, I know a Pokemon with that name. Insect's back. Okay. That's okay. I was gonna say that's okay because my Annihilape's not really afraid of it. That's sort of true. We saw that the Flare Blitz can do a lot. Ooh, that almost clean knocked out the Garchomp. I will get rid of that Pokemon now. That gives my Gengar better chances, but Incin's a huge problem, obviously. Raichu is last, so it's gonna Mega Evolve. It's Mega Raichu Y. Mega Raichu Y, do I have to deal with this, am I right? Can I sneak my Annihilate back onto the field? Don't love the chances. But maybe. But what's Raichu gonna do if not Zap Cannon that slot? So maybe this was not the right idea. Is that shiny? Is it shiny? I didn't even notice. Oh, it's Zap Cannon Sinistcha, okay. This shiny has like Raichu X colors, which basically are Pikachu colors. Okay, so I don't get my life due. Unfortunate, but probably not the end of the world. How fast is Raichu Y? I don't remember off the top of my head. It's not like I can Thunder Wave it. Instinct's been hitting pretty hard. I wonder how bulky it is. Not very. Perhaps. Zap Cannon into Ape? Really? Oh, and it doesn't even KO. Okay, no full para, please. It's only 1 stack Rage Fist because they nerfed Rage Fist. Switching out does remove the effect, but that is a very good survive there for me. Choreograph does not have Protect. Wait. Chat. I was about to confidently say that Choreograph can't damage my Sableye, but are you ready? It has Thunderbolt. Nonetheless, I think my better play here is to attack the Raichu. And try to just have too much firepower for Choreograph to deal with in the endgame. That Twin Beam doesn't even look like it'll knock Gengar out, so yeah, I'm actually fine here. Well, yeah, that'll about wrap up game 1, but of course, that crit I don't think is important in the grand scheme of things. But of course, the set is not over yet. And I have a tough choice to make for game 2, because they could try to throw their fairies at me so that Annihilate doesn't give them so much trouble. They didn't bring either of their 2 fairies to game 1. But if I'm wrong, that's also kind of trouble. So I'm not going to make the adjustment yet. I'm going to try to take advantage of being up a game. Wrong mon. Cerulege might be a good bring, actually. But it's a lot worse into Incineroar, and honestly pretty bad. Not great into Raichu either, so let's do the same mode again. See the opponent's adjustment for it, and then hope that I can counter-adjust in a way that works out for me in Game 3, if that's what happens. If we go to a Game 3. I think that's the way to play at this point in this tournament. It did make an adjustment. I'll go for the Rage Fist stuff right away. They might give me some free stacks here with this kind of lead. They might just want to aggressively attack the ape. And I don't think I ever mentioned, this is max special defense Annihilate. My opponent can see its nature, of course. But still. People don't seem to expect just how bulky it is sometimes, even pretty good players. Attack Sableye. That's not what I was hoping for. And Roar Veil. That's going to be a problem. A little bit of a problem. Might actually be better off targeting Raichu. Because it gives my Gengar more trouble than Ninetales does. I could even Thunder Wave Ninetales because they don't have Lightning Rod on the board anymore. Oh, they actually just switched it out. I thought I was better off anyway, going for my Reflect. And sure enough, they do bring in a physical attacker here, so yeah, good call, I think. Now I can't Thunder Wave anything, unfortunately. They do not seem to want to deal with the foul play Sableye again. Okay, I have to bring in Sinistra a little bit earlier than I wanted, but don't think it's the worst thing. I can Protect here, and I can try to chip or burn things. Oh, maybe the Protect is going to backfire on me. As they bring the Ninetales right back in. Okay, bad Protect. Damage on Garchomp is good. Any burns? Well, the way I get out of the Encore trap is by, unfortunately, clicking Rage Powder here. Oh, I think that was a bad Rage Fist. Oh well. Yeah. Sinister getting locked isn't great either, but it's better than in this position than Annihilate getting locked. This looks pretty rough, but I'm accumulating damage on their Pokemon for Gengar, so that much is good. I also can kind of click what I want here. No, I can't, because if they knock out Sinistra, then I'm still vulnerable to Encore. Okay, finally they hit my Annihilate with an attack. Freezing Sinistra is okay, better than freezing Annihilate. Okay, Sinistra's knocked out. That means I get Gengar back in safely. And that Garchomp is pretty low at this point. And the snow stopped. Okay. So my opponent's a little bit awkwardly positioned here. Especially as their Aurora Veil also ends. Bro's eating that berry and ice like he's a Nummel. That's right. Okay, I'm not running out of Rage Fist just yet. They could switch this turn, of course. If they want. Doesn't look like they did. So take out Garchomp. They Encore Gengar, so I'm locked into Shadow Ball. That could be trouble against Farigiraf. I could still lose to Farigiraf, maybe. If they have that in the back. I know they have Raichu, I don't know the other Mon. But yeah, if they're going for that, then it's probably Farigiraf. And that could be a real problem. Raichu. And Incineroar. Okay, that's not such a problem. The one problem here is they can just protect their Raichu. And I can't protect my Gengar. I'll Shadow Ball the Raichu anyway in case they don't protect, which they don't. Oh, it survives. That's bad. I was counting on that to KO. Gengar eats a Zap Cannon. +1 Drain Punch into Incineroar. If I just not split my targets, then I'd be in a great spot here. But there's still a chance for something wonky to happen. As they're going to knock out my Gengar. Okay, what is the correct Drain Punch target here? I think it probably has to be Raichu. Yeah. Also, the fact that I have 2 turns of Reflect left also could make a difference here. But that Zap Cannon does so little. Maybe I was better off attacking Incineroar. I'm surprised at how little it did, actually. Okay, the Darkest Lariat doesn't do too much either. It's the Flare Blitz that I have to be afraid of, but I get a little bit of Drain Punch recovery from this Raichu. I get leftovers. I have 1 turn of Reflect left. I'm probably okay. I'll finish that thought there. If you know this game, you can fill in the rest. Let's go. No crit, no full para. GG's. And the tournament run, yeah, okay. It didn't go the way I wanted, but we do end it on a win, and we end it appropriately enough with Annihilate beating down a Dark type. GG's to all opponents today. I will say, Raymer King, I see you joking in the chat. It was nice to not ever have to worry about Fake Out today. That was a real plus to this kind of team. Okay, well... We both are ending 3 and 4. That's not correct. There are 8 rounds. 3 and 5. It's not what I wanted, but then I kind of went into this without expectations. I just wanted to see how far I could push this monotype thing, right? I'll take 3 and 5. It's all right. There might be a better version of this team to be found in MB, but also maybe I can give it a rest for now because I finally found a challenge that was a little bit too hard for it. But thinking back on those games today, I lost round 1 on a double protect. In round 7, I saw an out a little too late and I didn't take it. The margins are always so thin in a competition like this. I feel like there were ways to go like at least 4 and 4 or 5 and 3. But I was not completely on today. And go figure, making it harder for yourself when you're also not bringing your A game. Yeah, I'll take 3 and 5. This was fun. Annihilate, ignoring fake outs and beating up dark types is a solid note to end on. Yeah, so that didn't go exactly the way that I hoped. Obviously, I was not aiming to win the tournament with Monotype. I mean, I try to win every set that I played. It'd be nice if I did. Or even got to day 2. But like, I would have been pretty happy to go positive with this team. And that wasn't what happened. It did feel like, as usual, in a high-level competition, the margins were pretty thin. Like, some of those sets could have turned out differently. I was not always playing my best. And I feel like there was a possible outcome with this team that was better than that. Although, you never know, right? You can't really know the counterfactual of what didn't happen. I mean, if I win round 1, which I very nearly did, that's already a whole different timeline, and who knows how the rest of the run goes. What I do know is, at a time when I've been kind of disengaged from VGC, feeling kind of checked out and unmotivated, I had a lot of fun taking the next step, next evolution, the next evolved form, if you will, the mega evolved form of one of my favorite teams that I've ever built. Gimmick or no gimmick. And I was looking for the limit of what it could do, and I got closer to finding that limit, although even now I'm still not exactly sure what it is. I'm not always Karen here trying to win with my favorites, but there's something I find very satisfying of making an honest effort at seeing just how far my favorites can go. And I didn't love the competitive outcome in the Grand Champions Festival Encore. I didn't hate it. I mean, that result with Monotype is not bad. And it really felt like it could have been better, but I did kind of get back in touch with the joy and whimsy of playing Pokemon, and I had a lot of fun. And obviously my favorite Pokemon, Gengar, is on this team, but there are a few others here. Annihilate, Basculegion, Sinistra, Sableye, a core that a core that's been with me for a long time at this point. Definitely some of my favorite Pokemon for a long time to come.